And a quick update. I logged in 20 minutes later. And that whole double chest is gone, and that whole double chest is gone. Yeah, I'm gonna have to upgrade and go big. How do we get a lot of sand really quick? Let me think. It's the next morning, and I've mocked a couple things up, and I want to address some of the concerns I have. So, it's starting to feel very symmetrical, and although I like angular and I want minimalistic, I don't want 100% symmetrical. So like this fireplace is dead center, there's two doors, it just doesn't make sense. And then when you get inside, it doesn't really make sense to have a small little gathering area here and a large. So what I think I'm going to do is block this in and move the fireplace to here, which would then be the center focal point for a seating area in this area. So this would be like the living room space. Leaving the doorway to face the deck, and I'm not sure what to make this, but this is fine. So I'll leave one area clean. And then I'll leave the center here, and I mock this up, and we'll talk about that in a second. But then again, this is dead center to the house too. So maybe moving the doorway off of center. And this is the basic idea of the stairs I had in mind. But to have... Oh, I guess I can't do that. To have these wrap around to make it look like different sections. And then of course I hid the lights underneath. So like this is a landing going down to this landing, and then I've got to move it so that the landings are off center from each other, like such. Kind of then creating separate steps. So if I just bring it over a step or two and get rid of this. What that will let me do is then each one of these steps can be a little landing, so I could like spread this out, one of them out here to have a little seating area. But what I've seen in pictures is the central walkway, which would be like here, is still consistent. It's just split between different steps going down the way. So yeah, that's my idea here. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this block palette. So I decided to go with deep slate to kind of offset the colors, but I think for the style of house I'm making, this is just too much variety. And I might have gone with all of them just to kind of see what it is. I think I'm actually just going to stick with the cobble. This is a starter house. Cobble deep slate is a starter block. I'm going to go all cobble and then maybe accent every once in a while with one or two of the different blocks to break it up. But it's not, the retaining wall is not a very big space, so I mean, it's not a lot of wall to cover. It's just I don't like the look of, it's too busy for what I want it to be. Next would be, I'm going to go to creative again. I've seen some interiors and I don't know how to do it. There's this trick where you put like armor stand and then you piston another armor stand into the armor stand and it makes it look like feet of a chair. It sounds really cool, it looks really cool, but I don't know how to do it. So that'll be next. We'll go over there. The last thing I'll talk about here is I'm not sold yet on the greenery. And so I think getting rid of that doorway to make a solid thing, maybe we'll go instead of bamboo to like little manicured custom trees. To have like a little group of 3 here of different heights. And then this walkway will be a straight line in here now instead of being over here. So we'll just turn this back into grass and block that off. And finally, I think I need some sort of collar here. I don't like the bamboo. This was just a placeholder anyways. So once we move this, I'm going to try like a little statue or something here. And those are neat. I don't do a whole lot of statues. So we could throw that. We might have to move this path back a little bit to fit a statue in there, because I've only given myself like 3 spots. But there should be something, even if it's like a statue head on the wall maybe. I'll think about it. Anyway, we'll get off to the custom world and we'll try some furniture stuff to see how to do it. Back here in creative, and I've come to find I really dislike the creative menu. I'm just not accustomed to it, and I have a very hard time finding things. But what I figured out is first let's talk about sofa. So I'm thinking sofa over here, and just a general, couple stairs in an L shape. But something I saw was you can place a banner at a level below directly on the block, and then you can put a stair in front of it, and it morphs it through to the banner, so the banners kind of look like pillows. So that might be an option. Be kind of I don't want those there. Be kind of tight through here, but anyways, that's, I think it may be an option, or maybe I don't know if you can get enough of the banner in this corner to make it look like something. Maybe. Nah, I don't know about that. But those kind of look like throws or pillows. The next thing I saw, which I had to practice, was this trick by making armor stands look like the feet of something. And you can see I made mistakes. So the point is, you first start with a hopper, and then the armor stand will actually sit down inside of the hopper a little bit. You see how it fell down? And then eventually what's going to happen is you're going to push a piece of wood down so that all you can see is what is above this plane. And so if you offset another armor, I probably can't do it there. If you offset another armor stand a certain degree and drop it on top of it, these little pieces then look like feet to a chair. So then the trick is to find a block you want to put on it, and I can't remember if it's got to be here or here. I think it's there. And you push it down. And you can see that pushed it down to one spot. And I think that's wrong. I think I want it here. Yeah, we'll find it. No, that was wrong. I was right the first time. Imagine that. So this is all, interior design is all strange to me. So we push it down once, and we push it down a second time, and that should replace the floor, but leave the armor stand. Yes. So now that kind of looks like the feet of, a chair. And then we'll pick something not obviously the same color as the floor in that space, I believe, like the mistake I made, and push it down, and that should make, no, on the top side. So top side, and that should make the back of seat of the chair. Look at that. So now we have like a floating little chair. And so I can fine tune the angle of the armor stands. So maybe the second one was 45, and maybe the first one should have been more like this angle, and then the second one be more like that angle. So that when you're stacked, the arms look up. But yeah, no, it's So then I think what you do is maybe put like a trap door on the back to be a short little back, or you could even maybe put a banner on this block. Or is that going to break? No, I'll have to figure it out. I think maybe a trapdoor or something, just to make so this will kind of look like a chair, maybe a little high. Does it look strange that that's higher than these? Maybe. So then I was thinking is that I'm kind of playing off this idea of mine that like modern is monochromatic, so kind of black and white. So I like this idea of like a area rug here that's maybe like a gradient. Could be. Or that could also be artwork on the wall. Oh, you can't put them on the wall. Oh, so the other thing I was thinking about for the wall here is I need to find a slab in this dreadful nonsense of a inventory. It doesn't matter what it is for now. So this kind of modern looking bookshelf where you go stair over stair and then you can wrap it around. Maybe that has to be a stair again. Stair, stair. Anyway. The other thing I saw, which maybe I like a little bit better, is a staggered bookshelf. To kind of fill in that space. Because I'm picturing this to be like a kitchen or dining room, and then to leave a good walkway because this is to go down to the beach. So anyway, I think I'm kind of liking, I'm going to play with the sofa design a little bit. Maybe I like the idea of like a lower arm here somehow. Maybe something, even it doesn't have to, maybe the idea of the last thing I said about it being symmetric, it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetric. Maybe it could be like no arm. And then this could be like a lounger, or it could be a lounger out that way sort of thing. Anyway, this is what I'm trying to learn and try to have fun with. So this will be the kind of thing I'm going to throw in here. Maybe some artwork on the wall. Flower pot. I'm not sure if in the real world this is a 4 space or a 3 space. So if it's a 4, maybe that leads perfectly for a picture. Or maybe some banner art. Maybe somebody on the server wants to help me with some banner art. Something to that effect. But no, let's get back into the real world here and see if I can find the items to make this happen. Slight update so far. I've done some of the terrace work out front and I've moved the doorway. So there used to be the doorway there and the fireplace was here, and I moved it over, and that's the great thing about Minecraft is it's just a matter of, the hardest thing was moving the parrots. Still not 100%. I kind of wish it was a bit more centered between the door and the wall, but I think like maybe a sofa on this side and a chair. No, a sofa here, which would delineate the space. Yeah. So a sofa here, and then maybe just a chair and a chair. Put a rug in between. And this is the door I decided to go with. I saw a picture of a door that had like windows around it for one side to put it off center. So I thought I'd go with this for now. I'm not 100% sold on all the dark, but I tried different woods and the lighter wood just looks weird. So I think if I change the wood, I have to change the door, which puts you right back to where you were. I like this because the chocolate doors, well, I call them the dark oak doors and trap doors look the same. So it looks like one bigger door, which is what I kind of like. But I kind of wish it was all one texture. Anyways, sand sold again. I went back again and filled it up. So we're gonna go back. I've mended my sand spoon. We're gonna have to go back and fill that up again. But the other thing I did here is I kind of filled out these terraces. So the front walkway, and I'm thinking like maybe a couple of chairs here, so you can wake up in the morning and have your coffee. But this is what I did for the stairs. So your center walkway is still straight down, but each layer is kind of offset from each other. It's not exactly like the picture I saw, but I think I kind of like it this way. So this will lead down to maybe the new sand shop area. I think would be down here, and that way people can fly in or they can boat in depending on how they travel. I left a bit of a higher retaining wall here instead of stepping it down, and I think, although this is at the wrong layer for decorations, is I might be able to get it. Ooh, maybe I could do something cool here with like a lounge chair where it's raised with armor stands. And I forgot a block there. So yeah, other than that, I mean, greenery to fill in the spaces, some trees or shrubs, maybe some flowers, or maybe just kind of grass. And I've tried working in patches of coarse dirt. So now that I've got it kind of all green, it might be the time to work in more of this and make it look real instead of just green. And maybe work in little patches of gravel in between the two, just to give it more texture. And maybe even like a little patch, I was going to say patches of moss, but this specific biome, the moss looks really, really bright and the grass looks really, really dull, so it's kind of weird. Back up to the front of the house, it's a different biome. It's jungle, so the grass looks greener, so the moss will look better here. So yeah, like this is bright green and this is pale sad green. So that's the difference of the biomes. We took down all the bamboo here. I think 3 custom trees where like this one's really tall, maybe even above the house, and this one's a little bit lower, and then this one's like really low, to make that triangle that's appealing, to kind of draw things in. And then maybe like a little shrub. Yeah, I like the idea of a shrub. It just it couldn't be so symmetric. It was just carbon copy. So there again, that's the update so far on the house. Next step will be to add furniture. I think I like how open it is. Like, I don't want it to be closed off. I want people to be able to fly in. It's pretty well mob safe. I put these doors in so that I place them in the closed position, and then this is the actual open position, so mobs can't get through. The only spot is they can jump over this. So maybe I put like a little half-step retaining wall here just to make it so that when you're inside, you're completely safe. But it's wide open, which I'm kind of digging. Yeah, so other than some texturing, the next step for here would be some life, some liveliness, some flowing grass or some trees. This is the one other thing I haven't shown on camera, and I'm not sure how I'm going to decorate this yet, but this is how I get to the labeled storage. So these barrels are all still accessible from above, but down here is where I've got them labeled so I can tell what's in what. And then I've got the path down to get down to like diamonds and dirt and stuff. Other than that, I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot in this space. I might change the floor out so that you don't have torch spam and it looks a little bit cleaner. I could probably go down another block or two just to make things a little bit, I like having headspace. So this is not like a, not intentionally realistic space. This is all just functional for me. Where I think the upstairs is all going to be just decoration. The other thing that's kind of weird is maybe there should be black stone here. I kind of like how this is separated though. No, I'll leave it like that for now. But that's the cool thing right now is I'm breaking down, moving, tearing. It's kind of fun. I usually just place and walk away, but this is kind of fun to make it exactly how I want. So we will, again, we'll come back from custom and look at making some furniture. Back now on the server, and I'd like to walk you through some of the changes I've made. First of all, toying with new custom trees. So this side used to be bamboo and bushes, and I knocked them down. I'm trying this custom trees. Maybe I need some more leaves in places, but I kind of like the color. It kind of goes well. Maybe not so much with this green grass, but the grass that's around back is a darker, paler shade. The other change here is this used to be symmetrical, and I got rid of this doorway to be on the inside to go to one door. And I decorated it with what to me looks like little windows and then a larger dark oak doors. I still don't have an idea for this space here. I want some sort of water feature or statue, and that's to come. Hopefully something I can work on tonight. What else? Yeah, so I think all this bamboo will come down too, and these bushes to kind of mirror tree types like this, or maybe a flower bed, something like that. I do kind of like the idea of having like a little bit of a fence here, so maybe we'll go with like one tree more like over here, and I'm using this as a tree farm, but we'll do like one tree here somewhere. Sand has finally slowed down a little bit. I've filled it up 3 times, I think, and now I'm up to, well, the diamonds are kind of weird. Yeah, these are all full right now. And we did make quite a few diamonds off it. And with those diamonds, I've got some silk touch and mending and unbreaking and silk touch on this. And a couple of protection books. I have a shulker box with a whole bunch of books in it. But on our Discord server, we got a message about Saturday night. We're going to do a big community wither fight. So I was thinking to myself, you know, you can kill a wither. I just think I showed it in my last video. But I wanted to do something different. So I reached out and said, hey, does anybody have some items that I can use to brew with? And Zedtech, the same gentleman who gave me the shovel from last time, the sand spoon, set me up with a shulker box full of arrows and potions and everything I would need to do some brewing. And it cost me 15 diamonds. So 15 diamonds on top of this 47, on top of yeah, there's this chest or shulker here full of books. So that's the money that I've earned. These are pretty well all a diamond a book. So there, I've made over a stack of diamonds so far just from sand. But this leads me to my idea for the wither fight. For the wither fight, I'm going to go as a medic. I've never done this. So I'm going to go with just a bow and a shield. And the only arrows I'm going to have are these guys. Oh, I don't want the pants. Gimme. This is going to be my chest. So I'm going to have arrows of instant health that I can shoot at the fellow players with, and then throw splash potions at them to heal them. Now the good thing is that these also work on the wither because it's an undead boss. But I plan on just running around in my little red armor, but it's only leather armor, so I'm not going to be able to stand there and get hit. And maybe pick some people off and keep them from dying. But let's get further into more of these decorations here. That'll be for later on. This is kind of a placeholder. I still don't know. I think it's going to be kitchen in this area. And then outside patio, inside dining room is my kind of thought. Or is don't really know. Maybe I could put like an office here and something else in this area. But this is the furniture setup I've got done so far. I really like the rug. I like this monochromatic look. I went with white for the sofa and a dark gray cushion. I think that looks really cool, actually. It looks better from this angle than it does from here because you can see the back of it. But yeah, no, I like that. The chairs, I like the fact that it's like this, but I don't like the fact that this height is taller than that height. If I could push that down another half a block, it'd be great, but then you'd lose the legs. So maybe there's changes in the future, but I think this is fine for now. At the time I was decorating this was before sand had sold, and I used my last diamond to make a jukebox so that I could get my growing assortment of parrots to dance. And then we just added some bookshelves in through here. I want to go exploring and go find like a warm ocean to get some coral and coral fans and stuff to kind of decorate. I think they'd look really good as like a flower. But the most work that's been going on is outside. So I finished the stone walkway to start with that reaches from side to side in front. But then I tiered it down, like I said, with the cobblestone or the deep slate steps. And so they're all down half a step. But the pathway is kind of offset from each of the steps. So it's kind of cool to me. Like the walkway's still smooth up half a block. You don't have to jump or anything. But it makes this kind of weird angle. I really like it. And then I added this larger place over here with 2 loungers. Maybe a place to put your drink. And yeah, I'm trying these like flowers vases. I thought they looked kind of cool. I don't want to block the sight lines. So from up here at the house, those aren't really interrupting you. And then once you're down here, they're not in the way. And finally, the last thing I did was I went through and added a bunch of coarse dirt and gravel and filled out the sand to kind of try to give like a bit of variety to the ground. These lights aren't going to stay. I'm going to figure out something where I can hide the lights and not have torches. I had 17 pieces of bone left, so I turned it all into bone meal to turn some of the grass back to here. I kind of prefer... I tried vines on the side here, and it just looked weird. I think filling the space in with grass, so I might actually come back, shear a bunch of grass, and put grass specifically in front of all of them, but I wanted it kind of random for now. I like that every once in a while there's a fern. And where the last thing is, tonight is the wither fight, but before that happens, I want to try to put like a little floating dock in here, I think. So if anybody's like not flying and they're in by boat, that they can kind of come here, tether their boat up to a little dock. And the goal is to move the sand store down here to this area. Does he have a trident? No, it's a baby. Yeah, so we'll move the store down here. I mean, it's doing well here, and the feedback that I've heard is it's actually people like to be able to just drop in, so people with wings can just fly into here. But I think that will be the same, just as easy down there. The only thing I don't have going for me is I don't have a portal to come direct from the Nether Hub. So people have to basically go back to the main portal, which is just on top of that stone hill. You can kind of see it right over there. Stoic has a portal right by that big jungle tree up on top of his hill. And then there is a portal inside of the redstone shop, but that's more of his personal base. The only other thing is I've collected sand twice, and then I went straight down, and this is my behind the scenes storage room. It's quite a work in progress. And this is the things you have to deal with for decorations. I never realized that like I have to have blocks to put things on that are in the way. So this isn't going to be this is just my starter base, so this isn't really a long term. But then like this hopper is what you need for the armor stands. So I'm going to use the hopper as my redstone storage for components, because why not? It's already here. And then I've just dug straight down basically to get down to like deep slate level, straight down through the bottom of my base. Lastly, before we cut, is I did die my first death on the world. I was mining, and as you can see, I have very little armor strength. And the creeper fell over the ceiling and blew me up. So it is what it is. I only had 5 levels to start with, and I got 4 of them back, so no real harm. But yeah, my death counter is at 1, and we'll keep her rolling. So let's get that dock done. Let's get some of these trees done up front here, maybe a little flower bed. And yeah, we'll get back before the wither fight and talk to you then. So final for this week, I put some fences in. I kind of like the idea of them. Maybe they're too high. I'm sure I'm going to live with them for a little bit. Trees on both sides now. We'll probably end up with like a little path down to the beach, down through here. Inside the house is all the same. There's still my wither fighting stuff. I added a little awning over top of this, a little sunshade. I tried going a little bit deeper, but it just didn't look right, so we cut it back. It doesn't have to be exact. And then I added a little wharf. It's growing on me. It might be too much like dark to light to dark to light. I love using campfires as the dock. And then these of course are actually walls, so you can put your boat, lead it up to that if you want to. And the sand shop has been moved down to the beach. The other thing I just realized is that this is a warm ocean, so as I bone meal, I actually get the coral fans. So I can actually use those. I'm going to, over the weekend, is maybe bone meal some to act as decorations here on the sand to break up just the dead bushes. And yeah, so long story, what's going on now in the realm is the bottleneck for me is mending. I need a way to repair stuff, so I'll go down and get sand, and my pick is dead in 2 shulker boxes. Or if I go down and mine for blocks, my pick is broken. So I've been debating whether I want to go with villagers for trading to get EXP. But I mean, there's villagers here, there's villagers there, there's villagers here, there's a villager breeder there, there's villagers here. Everybody's doing villagers. And if I do villagers too, then I'm not buying food from anybody. I'm not buying the resources that you gather from them. So what I want to do is probably tomorrow I'm going to build a quick and easy Enderman farm in the end. It's just a portal away, and the end is 20 blocks away from that. So we'll just do a quick one there. I've got a little idea. I'm not sure if it's going to work to maybe help increase spawn rates, but we'll explore that next week. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. On today's tips and tricks, we're back on the realm, and I want to talk about concrete conversion. And so I have a kind of a low-tech solution to creating concrete from powder. Is I pair the Soul Speed, the 3rd enchantment on my boots, the Soul Speed 3, while I run on Soul Soil, along with the Aqua Affinity that's on my helmet, the 3rd one down, which gives you quicker movement speed in water. And you can even pair it with the haste of a Haste 2 beacon, to where you're placing blocks as quick as you can run, and then you can just turn around and run the other way and mine them and pick them back up in your inventory. The thing that limits this is your server's ability to register what you're doing. I'm on a PlayStation and my connection's very laggy tonight. But as you can see, the water sources push all the blocks back into your inventory. So as quick as you can place, you can mine, and as quick as you can mine, you can place. The only thing you have to worry about is the durability of your boots will die very quickly. I would say probably an inventory to an inventory and a half is about as much concrete you can place and break without the durability breaking on your boots. So just keep it in mind. Maybe every once in a while check your durability, make sure you don't break your clothes. And other than that, this is a very quick way to change powder into solid blocks, so maybe you don't need to spend diamonds to buy it from somebody trying to sell to you. So have a good day, and we'll see you next time.